All right. Thank you very much. So, Senator Looney, Chief, our distinguished guest service members, pointing out one of my battle buddies in the back there, Colonel Castellucci. Cool. 2025 is an extremely important year to remember, to reflect and honor on the service and sacrifice of those who lost their lives in service to their country. That also includes those with physical and mental scars of battle that came home and had to deal with those. And we're still in the latest VA document, approximately 17 suicides by military service members a day. So that number had been 22, it dropped down, it's gone back up in their latest document. So 2025, why is 2025 so significant? If we reflect back on history, it's a milestone, like a birthday. I'm an EMT, I appreciate that. I want to go run towards it. Maybe they need help. Like any other milestone of anniversary and birthday, it's a reason to come together with one focus and stop what we're doing every day. And if that focus is a picnic, fine, in Memorial Day, where we will think about everyone who has paid the ultimate price for service to their nation. So 2025, if we go back 250 years, April 19th, 1775, the shot heard around the world, the Battle of Lexington and Concord. A couple days later, one of the first out of New Haven, April 21st or 22nd, 1775, Powder House Day, where the city came together and Captain Benedict Arnold there convinced somebody to give him a lot of ammo and gunpowder, and north he marched into Cambridge, Massachusetts. That 250 years ago. Now we go a little forward to June 14th, 1775. Who can tell me why that date's significant? Come on, Army folks.
Marine Corps.
Not yet on the Marine Corps. It's the Army birthday. Thank you, sir. November 10th, 1775. All right, Semper Fi. Okay, there you go. Significant time frame and milestones. Let's go 90 years forward. April 9th, 1865, Appomattox, where Ulysses Grant, General Lee came together after a few weeks of skirmishes, heavy battle action leading up to that moment for the surrender of the of the Confederate Army to Union forces, ending the American Civil War. Our walk through history and milestones that draw us close, Senator Looney mentioned some of the casualty counts during those battles, brings us to a very significant period, 80 years later. We can start that period on May 8th, 1945 with VE Day, 80 years ago. We can go before May and look at the other theater, Okinawa, April 1945. April 1 to June 12th, 1945. There's a monument in Okinawa to the all forces who paid the ultimate sacrifice, to include civilians at that time. 242,000 plus people lost their lives in the battles over Okinawa at that time frame. So that set the piece to be able to launch forces forward, thinking of ground attack into Japan. Due to the events on August 6th and August 9th, 1945, with the atomic bombings, a ground force invasion of Japan wasn't necessary. 80 years ago. September 2nd, 1945, VJ Day, 80 years ago. the surrender of Japan, Tokyo Bay, to General MacArthur on the USS Missouri. So as things were winding down for World War II, setting up for what was going to be after that, looking into Vietnam, the French are taking over for Japan forces that are in that country. That country isn't really standing up on its own yet. So already the OSS, the precursor to the CIA, is on the ground in Vietnam. There's skirmishes there as well. Some bad things happened on each side. And a officer, and raise your hand if you know this name, Lieutenant Colonel A. Peter Dewey. Lieutenant Colonel A. Peter Dewey, I consider a Connecticut veteran because he went to school here in New Haven at Yale University, born in Chicago, expert in French. So he goes over, he's doing some reconnaissance with the OSS. He's trying to also account for POWs from World War II that Japan had held, American POWs in that country, and securing their release. So he's coming back from the airport in his Jeep. September 26, 1945, Lieutenant Colonel Dewey is killed in action. His captain driving the Jeep survives. Lieutenant Colonel Dewey does not. Lieutenant Colonel Dewey is the first U.S. KIA in Vietnam. September 26, 1945. Then we go through our march in time a few more times to reflect back on the service and sacrifice of our military. 1955, Southeast Asia Treaty Organization stood up, and by November 1, Military Advisory Group, MAAG, Vietnam, stood up on November 1, 1955. That's when the wall date now begins. And the wall, the Vietnam Wall, with 58,220 names on it, started November 1st, 1955 with that action. French out and America in, directly supporting South Vietnam. Next significant date, 1965. In March of 1965, the first battalion-sized unit Marines land at Danao. On my birthday, or about there, on May 5th, 1965, the 173rd Airborne Brigade occupies Vietnam with subsequent brigades that came in. Now, the services and sacrifices in Vietnam are really ramping up. November 12th to the 17th, LZ X-Ray, LZ Albany, Ia Drang. We Were Soldiers Once and Young, and movie on the outcome, looking back at that history. The first time the helicopters are used in assault and medevac together. The B-52 Super Fortress, our Air Force folks, close air support for the first time, 1965. 60 years ago. And then we look back 50 years ago to a major milestone. Approximately 2:30 in the afternoon, General Min announces Saigon has fallen. The evacuation is as complete as it can be. Saigon becomes Ho Chi Minh City 50 years ago. Significant milestones exist for us 250, 160, 80 years ago, 60, 50 years ago, that bring us together to think of the 1.3 million plus military service members that have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. In reflection, we honor them, we honor each one of them. We honor the Gold Star families that will never know what the end of missing their loved one in suffrage is over their loss. Our hearts go out to them. We have a few in our family around us, and I think of them every day. So in closing, I want to again think of that history, think back on the service, sacrifices of our military members, but also our civilians that support us and our allies. Because they too, in my service in Afghanistan, about this day in 2010, I was at a flagpole and with a wreath and looking at a very kinetic year for the United States Armed Forces there and our allies. And I could not believe that I could be in the middle of a war zone on Memorial Day raising a flag. And then seeing what was going on around me at that time. So with that, thank you again. And I really appreciate this opportunity in this great city, Emerald City of New Haven. Fantastic.